Let's take a look at a pretty cool project wrapping up in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. So this is their downtown area. We have Main Street, which is one way, 2 lanes westbound, and Boulder Drive, one way, 2 lanes eastbound. In the mid-1900s, a lot of cities converted their downtown streets from 2-way to 1-way because they thought that moving more cars at higher speeds would be better for businesses. But it turns out it was the opposite. It just allowed people to drive through downtown even quicker and not really be enticed to get out and walk around and patronize the shops. It also led to a worse pedestrian environment with all these speeding cars around. And so now we're seeing a lot of cities convert their one-way streets back into 2-way to promote slower speeds and get people out walking in a more safer environment. So that's what Fitchburg is doing. Instead of having 2 one-way roads, they're converting both of them into 2-way roads. For the most part, it was as simple as converting the dashed white lines into a double yellow center line, but there's some other interesting things I wanted to highlight. At either end of the downtown, Main Street and Boulder Drive come together at intersections. Those intersections were only designed for the one-way operation, so let's see how they were changed. Over on the west end, if you were coming eastbound, you could only continue onto Boulder Drive. If you were coming west on Main Street, you could loop around to Boulder Drive or continue on Main Street. But in the 2-way configuration, more movements are possible. So now if you're coming eastbound, you can continue down Boulder Drive like before, or straight onto Main Street. If you're coming westbound, the new direction on Boulder Drive, you can continue straight through or loop around back to Main Street. When I worked on this project a few years ago with my old company, we had proposed a simple T intersection or even a roundabout here. That was my favorite, but ultimately the city proposed this design to promote through traffic continuing onto Main Street. And here's the old design of the intersection on the east end of Boulder Drive and Main Street. So Boulder Drive being one way this way, you can come up here and make a left or right. This one way in only exists so people can get to the gas station and parking lot, but you couldn't go that way. So things switch around a bit in the new configuration. We still have that right turn out to Main Street. That left turn's been eliminated. We now have a left turn pocket coming from Main Street to get into Boulder Drive, and this corner has been rounded out so people coming from Main Street and from the Water Street Bridge can wrap around onto Boulder Drive. Here's Putnam Street connecting Main Street to Boulder Drive right in the middle of downtown. Before it was one-way southbound, but that also got converted to 2-way just to give people more options to get around some shorter routes, so these 2 traffic signals got fully replaced. And because of this 2-way conversion, the city decided they didn't need Cushing Street anymore for vehicles, and so they're in the process of converting that into a pedestrian-only plaza. And I wanted to point out that this wasn't just a traffic project, it was also a pedestrian safety project with new bump outs and sidewalks throughout downtown. And a bike project as well, with new bike lanes on Boulder Drive replacing some underutilized street parking. So if anyone's from the area or you've traveled through here recently, please leave a comment and let me know what you think about Fitchburg's downtown transformation project.